Recording is in progress. Good evening and welcome to the February 7th meeting of the Southborough Historical Commission. On the agenda for this evening, I don't have to read anything of that thing right anymore, right? Kate?
I don't think you have to read it if it's on our, no, I don't think you have to read it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move right into the business at hand, which is approval of minutes from previous meetings.
May I actually make, I don't know if I need to make it a motion, but to approve them, we have a meeting scheduled for next week, I believe.
Yes.
Could we, and we're not behind from the, the inside track. We're not behind, just because I'd like to maybe Dave's not on, right?
Dave's not on, no.
So I'd like to maybe just talk to him and see if I can help him sort of shrink them down in size, because they're about like 13 pages and
okay.
Probably because it's one that he listened to the audio of. So I just want to help him just edit it down a little bit. It's just easier to post that way, all that kind of stuff. So
perfect. All right.
We need to make a motion to look at them next week. Okay.
Yes,
I make a motion that we look at them at our meeting scheduled for next week.
I second that motion. Do I hear any opposition to this? No, I have to do a roll call. Kate?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Annie?
Yes.
Jim?
Aye.
Okay, very good. So we'll postpone that. Next up on our agenda is approval of the letter to St. Mark's. I'm sure you've all had a chance to read the absolutely excellent and wonderfully worked piece of correspondence. The only question I think I and Kevin had, Annie, are you comfortable, I mean, considering as a former St. Mark's person with the letter? I mean, you can abstain if you wish.
Yeah, so I've given some thought to this. So given my relationship as a former employee, my husband's relationship as an alum, our joint relationship as supporters of the school, I'm going to abstain from voting.
Okay.
But happy to participate in the conversation, if as needed.
Okay. Does anyone have any changes or corrections to the second version of this letter, which I think is lovely, succinct, and absolutely to the point?
I second those opinions about it. I thought it was a great letter the first time around.
Same.
Okay, there you go.
I have
All
one,
right.
not typo, but just grammatical question. In the second paragraph, we're talking about Brona Simon, state archaeologist. Archaeologist, thank you. And executive, it says direction. Should that be director?
Yes.
Indeed, it should be. Oh, good grief.
I know, I didn't notice that. Wow.
Miss
job,
Fapp,
Annie.
you are hired.
Good editor.
I'm appalled. I'm absolutely appalled at myself. I will fix
It was
forthwith.
probably autocorrect. We'll give him that.
Wow.
Give him that autocorrect.
Otherwise, I think it's a very impressive letter. Kevin, you did such a phenomenal job.
I totally agree. I think we should all raise our hand for applause.
Yep.
All right, so I'd like to move to accept this letter to send to St. Mark's. Do I hear a proposal to that extent?
So moved.
Okay, we got a double. Let's take Jim this time. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Battles. In the last vote, by the way, I think I forgot to vote aye myself, so I'm going to vote aye to postpone just so we can correct that. Do we have to go back and revote that? Well, let's finish one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Let's just take the roll call here. Kate?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Annie?
Abstain.
Jim?
Aye.
Wyson votes aye. And for the record, for the previous motion, Wyson voted aye. I think we can just simply say to postpone the minutes. Finally, chairman's report, and this is going to be quick. You may have noticed a very quick news item in the paper that one member of the Historical Commission was going to be examined for ethical issues. That person is me. It stems from expenses that were submitted and approved in 2016 to the Historical Commission to create our former website. I was informed about this last Monday and could be no more surprised. Since these were approved by everyone there, signed off by everyone there. And all I can say is the timing of this, just in front of the election when I intend to announce to run against Marty Healy, is highly suspect. I can assure you that there's no validity to these charges. They've been handed off to the attorneys. This will be discussed tomorrow during executive session, and hopefully this thing will go away. but I wanted you to hear it from me. They were up briefly on the town website until my attorneys objected that they contained erroneous material, specifically that they had published the Dun and Bradstreet report of my business, which had contained all sorts of erroneous material. I'm hoping this is just a misunderstanding. That I'm going to be Christian in that assessment and say that this is a misunderstanding on the part of the town's part, and that this will all go away. We'll find out. But if something happens, and for some reason they do decide to continue to remove me, I want to say that it has been an honor to serve with you all, and that you have an exceedingly adept vice chair who will take over. I'm hoping, praying, and I fully expect to see you next week. But I wanted to hear from me sort of what the story was going on. I'm not going to discuss it any further than that because it is in the hands of very, very competent counsel. So that's it for the chairman's report. Oh, and one other thing. We received a permit request from the Fay School to demolish the absolutely magnificent 45 Main Street, which is the little red house right next to the funeral home with its barn. I couldn't be more adamantly opposed personally to the demolition of this structure. This is the old Dr. Stone's house, and it's sort of key to the whole downtown. They don't want to build anything either. They just don't want to maintain it. So I'm hopeful that we will be able to work with them to preserve this structure, perhaps have them resell it. They bought it for pretty small money, $350 or so a couple of years ago. And I am sure that there would be interest to have other people buy this structure and perhaps use our adaptive reuse bylaw to have some mixed use in their condo, whatever, that we can finally use this incredible bylaw, which I don't think to date has actually been utilized much. What a wonderful thing would be to convert that barn to a little bakery or cafe space or something along those lines. But it's a terrific structure, and I hope and pray that this building, which has just recently been placed on the National Register of Historic Places, is not to be demolished simply for a vacant lot. So that will be up on the agenda for next Thursday. Is it Thursday?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Thursday.
Just for point of information, I replied to the building commissioner this afternoon that we would put it on the agenda for next Thursday, the 17th, which keeps us in the 10-day window of that we have to make a determination whether the building is architecturally and or historically significant. And then also reassured her that we would then, if we did make that determination, we would schedule the required hearing within 45 days. If we make that determination, and it's on the agenda for next Thursday, the 17th. If we do determine that it's significant, we can have the hearing at our regularly scheduled meeting in March and fall within the requirements of the bylaw. So it sets up quite nicely for us in terms of timing.
Great.
In the meantime, I will write to a representative at St. Mark's, express our concern for this and for the preserve the structure, and inviting them to the meeting on the 17th.
Michael, question, is it owned by St. Mark's or someone else?
I'm sorry, do I keep saying St. Mark's? Fay School. Fay School.
Fay.
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was purchased about 2 or 3 years ago by Fay School. And at the time they put, what?
It was 2017.
2017, what, for
Yeah,
350?
My brokerage actually sold it.
Okay. They're claiming that the house is in rough shape. I'm sure it is. They don't want to maintain it, but I guarantee you could find someone to move into that house and rehab it in that prime, wonderful location. It is so spectacular with its little rambling lines and that beautiful barn. I can't imagine that space without it. So
I noticed that one of the in the adaptive reuse bylaw that one of the encouraged or permitted uses is as an antique shop, and boy, wouldn't that make a wonderful
oh, that would be fun. Okay, yeah.
Southwell Antiques. This is the kind of stuff that
Oh, that would be so great.
and wouldn't that make the EDC happy? It would make me happy. I'd be down there knocking around in there all the time, you know. So let's hope.
Well, maybe Kevin, you and I can like start a second career.
That would be awesome. I would love to have an excuse to accumulate a bunch of crap.
Kevin and Mike's Antique Shop. I know, that's the great thing about an antique shop. You get to buy all sorts of stuff for other people.
Gotta be careful though. We're not angling to.
Oh, come on. I think Kevin and Mike's has a ring to it, don't you think? How about Mike and Kate's?
Oh, yeah, that's super.
Yeah.
I'd love that too. And especially if all the stuff is in another building rather than my house. But
Well,
I
you
love
have that
that.
big barn there. You have a whole space. You could set that up. 1, 2, 3. I'm telling you.
Before we bought our house, I heard that our barn was a little bit of a antique storage area. The owners of our house were collectors for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That house has had a fascinating set of history behind it. The reason people live there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I know some of you have to shove off to various meetings, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll take it from Battles. I'll take a second from Mr. Blaschke. Wyson says aye. Kate Battle says.
Hi.
Kevin Miller says.
Aye.
Annie Pfaff says.
Yes.
Jim Blaschke says.
Aye.
And with that, we are concluding another exciting episode of the Southborough Historical Commission.
See you
All
next
right,
Thursday.
everybody.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
We, God willing, we'll see you all back here next week. All
Okay.
right. Bye-bye.
Good night.